Now let's do something new. Edit a sprite inside GameMaker Studio 2 itself. If you click the play button in the sprite editor, you can see that our baker is moving very fast, and he's sort of just blinking in the middle, which doesn't really look all that interesting. So what we're going to do is use the sprite editor itself to add frames and move these frames around and create a slightly different kind of animation. Now, if you click on each of these frames, you'll see how they work. And you can go up to the FPS setting and reduce that to something like 10 to get a better idea of how that animation works. He's just sort of bobbing up and down. However, notice that if you put your cursor in between two frames, you get these double arrows. And notice that there's a frame counter here. It says 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. If you click and drag a frame like this, you'll see that you can make it span more than one actual frame of time. In that case, that first frame will last longer than the other ones. You'll also notice that if you right-click on a frame, you can copy and paste them. You can even shift-click and copy and paste multiple frames. So with this, let's go ahead and edit our baker animation just to make it a little more unique. You notice in mine he blinks at the end, but doesn't really blink here. So we're going to change that a bit. Let's make him go down there on his little hop animation a little bit longer. And let's maybe drag this over there to add a blink. You'll see that you can also just move frames along the timeline, but that will also create gaps, so just be careful about that. I'm going to copy this frame by right-clicking, choosing copy, click on this frame, choosing paste. So it adds it to the right of that, and I'm just going to check out that animation. That looks pretty good. So do whatever you want to do, and once again, go ahead and make these frames as long as you want them to. And when you're done, let's do two more things. As we've been doing before with the player, let's make sure the origin point makes sense. So right here it's at the top left. Let's drag that below in between the baker's feet. And once again, make sure the FPS is something that's not 30, or otherwise your animation will be way too fast. When you're happy with your animation, you can change the name of the sprite to remove that suffix, so it just says SPR Baker Idle Down. You can close that and make sure your sprite is in that new MPC subgroup within your sprites group in the asset browser.